Hello, everyone. You're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This is the Boy and Girl Thing Show, and I'm Cece Schatz.
And I am Derek Bernard. And welcome to you all, and we hope to hear from you this evening.
Yes, definitely. Now, you all can, if you're listening, you can just send a message. We'll see your message, so please do. You can send us any comments. Come straight in through Facebook, right onto our platform here. So we would love to have you.
Absolutely.
So what do we have on the schedule tonight? Let's see. This is our topic, 11 ways to make dating fun and less stressful.
Yes.
I came across this article, so I thought it was quite good. So let's talk about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, absolutely, dating is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be a stressful exercise. And you're supposed to feel happy and fulfilled at the end of the evening.
You're supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. You know?
Like the way you worded that. You're supposed to be.
Absolutely. It doesn't always turn out that way, but
yeah,
that should be the objective.
Well, they have 11 ways here in which to do that. And I thought, it was kind of cool because the number one, the very first way is to do something that you would do anyhow,
right.
That you would like to do. So, if you want to have fun, you might as well go and do something you enjoy doing, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So what do you like to do? Well, so what would you recommend on a first date? What would you like to do?
Well, it depends on the person, and it depends what you like. Now, I like animals. Mm-hmm. So to me, going and wander around the zoo is probably a good casual exercise you can do on a first date. You walk around, you chat, and you see animals. It's a relaxing atmosphere and so on. And to me, that's something, if you're into animals, it's something that can be done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be a nice way to get to know someone. How they like different animals and different things. So yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that would be kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think it's nice to do something where you can have a conversation versus, a lot of times you go to listen to music or something, you can't really always talk.
And that's the thing. I don't think, well, for me at least, going to a bar isn't, with a lot of loud noise and music isn't really the thing, because to me, you can't really get to concentrate on the person that you're with in totality. And you can't really get to know them in a way that you want to. So I prefer, a more casual setting, not necessarily intimate, but something where you can experience each other in a fun setting.
Yeah, I agree. What I think is really nice is when you go out on a date, right? You go out to dinner or something like that, and then you can it's just me, but you can tell the guy likes you because he wants to keep the date going. So
right.
he's got a plan for something else. So he wants to, let's go out dancing or let's go do something. He doesn't want the night to end. And that always makes you feel really good. And they don't want the night to get, or they are like looking at their watch, right? Oh, dinner's almost over. Okay.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's always good to feel appreciated and wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is the essence to me of going on a date is not really to impress the person, but really to make them feel fulfilled, make them feel happy, unwanted, and so on.
Yeah, I agree with that. The next thing they mentioned was don't make it about being desired. That's funny because I never think about that. I do think about, when I go out on a date, I want to look my best.
Right.
I never thought about being desired.
Yeah, I think that some people, it depends on the psychology of the person you're with. Some people have to feel desired. That makes them feel fulfilled. And they mistake feeling desired with other emotions. So one has to be a little wary of that, a little careful. If I am out with someone and to me they're trying too hard to feel desired, so to speak, it's a red flag for me, because you're probably looking at someone with some little bit of problems that you may not want.
Yeah, to me, I never thought about it like that, because I always just kind of think that kind of stuff will just naturally happen.
Yeah.
If it's supposed to, it'll just naturally happen. I never thought about being like desired, but I guess if you think about wanting to wear something or whatever, I think women shouldn't wear anything too provocative at the beginning.
Right.
I think they need to be a little bit more conservative. I mean, I think they need to let their their personalities show, but I don't think they need to be too provocative, because I think that just ill happens, and it's okay. I know you got company over, so it's no problem. So we'll have him join us on the show.
Yeah, my brother normally is in by now or out, but he kind of came in just an hour this evening. But
no worries. This is real, and it's and they can tell it's live, because things happen.
Things are happening.
Yeah, we like that. Yeah. Well, let's see what the next one is. The next one is try not sitting face to face. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, and I didn't get a chance to read what that person was saying about that. I always found, to me, that sitting face to face, I always thought was a desirable thing. This writer is taking the opposite view, I guess.
Well, I think they were talking about, like you were saying, about going, walking and looking at the animals. You're walking, you're having conversation. So they said, like, maybe doing something like that, walking, having conversation. Or if you're sitting straight directly across from each other, you're just kind of stuck, aren't you? There's no place else to look at. You're looking at him, looking at you. You're like, do I have broccoli in my teeth? I mean, you're stuck like that. But so to sit, like if you were sitting next to each other, is actually a little bit more sensual.
Right. Well, I guess
like your shoulders might touch. Your legs might touch. Your body language. You're allowed to actually let your body language be exposed, because you're maybe turning towards each other, or if you're turning away from each other, then you got a problem. So so that's kind of nice to be able to kind of sit side by side, a little bit more side by side. The other thing is, if you're sitting at a table and you're sitting one side by side, but you're like one on corner, one on the other corner, it also allows you to look at something else, so you're not just staring at each other all the time.
Right. And so what they're saying, let your body do the talking.
Well, sometimes it does, I think, that's language, right?
And then the thing is that you really, and I could understand that, you really don't want to be looking into each other's eyes, on a date all the time. It's could be uncomfortable for some people.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they were thinking about. The next one was, don't take rejection so hard. It's just a date,
It's a date. And what a lot of people don't understand about rejection is that it's not necessarily about them, right? It is more about the other person. And not because that person couldn't accommodate you for whatever reason means that something is wrong with you. It's just that, hey, that's how that person feels. It's about them. It's not about you. Doesn't mean you're unattractive. It doesn't mean that you're undesirable. It just means that wasn't the person that, you all didn't click for whatever reason.
Yeah. It's just a date. So it's like you're just, I just did just before this show, I did a show on relationship building. And that's all it is. You're just building a relationship. And so if it doesn't go any further than what it went now, maybe you're friends or you're, acquaintances, but I'll just take it for that.
Take it for what it is.
Yeah. And the thing is if he or she decided that you weren't the one, it's better to know now at the beginning than
better now than you build your hopes up, or you start a relationship only to have it dashed on some minor thing later on.
Yeah.
You know, so,
yeah, I so agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. So let's see the next one. Meet up with the pal beforehand. What do you think about that? I was a little questionable about that because you don't want to get sloshed before your date.
No, I mean you don't necessarily get sloshy, but meeting with a pal beforehand probably is a kind of relaxer. Might take some anxiety away from the situation, and you go into the date in a more relaxed mood and so on, and you have more control over yourself and stuff like that. So that might be a good idea. Never thought of that one.
Yeah, I don't think that's something guys would really do, though, would they? I think that would be more of a woman thing.
That'd be more of a woman thing. I don't think guys would normally do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a guy calling up their friend saying, "Hey, come and sit with me before she gets."
Like what? That'd be kind of hilarious.
Yeah, then she might end up liking the other guy better than she likes him. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Don't leave. Don't leave.
You know.
Oh, I like this one. Call it a date when you make it.
Yes.
Often guys will, and this has happened to me before, they'll just kind of nonchalantly say, "Hey, you want to go out? You want to hang? You want to do this?" And they don't say it's a date, so I'm not quite sure. I'm not getting a real vibe on, are they into me or they're not into me?
Right. The thing is, as I say, don't be wishy-washy about it. You want to take somebody on a date, let them know, look, this is about a date. And you set, time and place and everything. It's a date, right? And the word date suggests what it should be. It's something very specific. On a particular day and time, that's a date. And let them know it's a date. Instead of leaving it up in the air and have somebody wondering, I wonder what is this? Is it just a casual meetup because of a friend? Or, we got to be clear in our communications here.
Yeah. I agree with that. You're setting the pace, right? You're setting the stepping stone to starting to create a relationship.
Right. So
if you don't make it clear at the very beginning that you're interested, like you're throwing your hat in the ring, it's just not clear, and so then it gets really complicated, I think.
Yeah, it could go down a road, an unintended path. You have to direct where this thing goes. You can't leave it up to chance.
Well, and another thing too is when it gets to be to the point where you start being a little more intimate, then if you didn't know it was a date to start with, you thought you were just hanging out as friends.
Yeah.
And I think I've shared with you before one time a guy that I thought we were just friends, and he ended up being a lot more serious about me than I was about him.
And you were about him.
Right. And so I think the thing is that if you don't let them know at the beginning, it's not gonna, when you want to become a little bit more, he or she's not going to know that that's what your intention was.
Right. Yeah. And that can lead to some uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
And miscommunications,
Yeah, I experienced that. Yeah, I totally understand that. So I definitely had a blonde moment there. Say, what? You're interested in me? Oh, I thought we were just friends.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's true. It's funny. So talk to more than one person at a time. So I think what they mean by that is that when you're dating, you're just doing that. You're dating, right?
You're dating. You're finding out.
And you're not off the market.
You're not off the market. I mean, that got me in trouble before, but, I guess they didn't really understand. I met two girls, went out with one. And when I asked her out the next week, she was like, well, no, I'm going out with someone else. And I said, okay, I thought you understood. I said, okay. I invited a friend out instead. And that created a problem. And oh boy, she hated me because, you know, how could I go out with her and then ask a friend? Well, I met both of you all same time. I just happened to take you out first, you know? And I thought I made that clear to them in the beginning that I would like to get to know them both, you know, but it created a problem. That was one who flew over the cuckoo's nest, I guess. But
So, okay, so I'm just trying to understand this. So the first one, she said she had another date.
yeah, she did indicate to me on the first date, which she didn't tell me before, that she had a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know whether she went to break off the relationship with the guy. I really don't know what. She didn't explain anything to me. She just said, look, she can't go out with me because, you know, she was had some stuff to do and she was going out with X person with so on. So I said, okay, fine, no problem. We'll catch up next week or whatever, you know. And I called a friend and said, would you like to go out? We can go to a movie or something, you know. And I don't know what her friend actually told her. But it turned out that after that, she was quite upset and didn't want to see me again. And I said, you know, I'm not even going to fight this issue next. You know, time to move on. You know,
well, you know, I don't think I think when you're dating, you're doing just that. You're out there dating.
yeah. And you're searching.
You're going to be exclusive. I think the guy has to say to you, you know, that they want to be exclusive.
Right. I mean, you know, and there was no commitment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just a date. And I thought, well, okay, if I invite your friend out, then, you know, I'm not doing anything, you know, behind your back or anything. I just invite her for some company and we can chat and see, you know, how that goes. I didn't tell the friend I wanted to date. I just wanted to spend the evening with, you know, with someone.
Okay. So here we are back at the other one where if it was a date, you should have said it was a date. If you didn't,
but I didn't, right. But I didn't indicate it was a date at all.
Right.
You know, so that was that. I just said,
you were in a pickle.
Yeah. Wasn't the first time.
It didn't end well, did it? Mm-mm.
It wasn't the first time. I mean, you know, but.
Right. So number one, you have to say if it's a date, you got to say it's a date.
It's a date.
So I guess, ladies, we got to make it clear. If he doesn't say it's a date, then
it's not a date.
Well, should we ask? Should we say, so what is this? Are we just going out as friends or is this a date? Or should we not say it?
Well, I think that if you're unclear and you want to know, especially if you definitely are or are not interested in the guy,
mm-hmm.
then you should make clear as to what the evening is about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's totally, I say it's totally right, totally normal. If you don't want to, you know, if you're really interested in a guy, you might want to, is this a date and should I feel happy about this? Or if you're not interested in the guy and he says, yes, it's a date, then it's up to you to say, you know what, no, I don't think so. You know what I mean? So I think that people should make it clear, make their intentions known. You know, and if you're unclear, find out from the other party, what are you expecting? Because expectations are the things, is the thing that brings disappointment and problems.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I
well,
think that
you also have, you know, the financial part of it, because if you're going out as friends, you're normally paying your own way.
Well, right, yes.
And if you're going out on a date, generally the guy pays.
The guy would pay.
Right.
And that depends on whether he invited you on a date or whether you invited him on a date. You know, if someone invites me on a date.
Let's get this straight. So you're saying if the lady invites a guy on the date, then she has to pay.
I expect that she's going to fit the bill.
Oh.
Now, it doesn't mean to say that I wouldn't offer, right? But my expectation that if you invited me on a date, that you would have catered for that date. If I invite you out on a date, then you know what, hey, the bill is mine. If you invited me out on a date, the bill is yours.
Sheesh, I never thought about it like that. Because I've invited guys to go to things, you know, like especially like a festival or something. Hey, you want to go or whatever, and they still pay. I never.
Well, yes, I mean, but did you say it was a date though?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't say it was a date, but I guess they had hoped that it would be because they paid. So I don't know.
You know,
I guess. Okay. So number one, we need to have clarification. This is a date
clarification,
because
very
I guess
important.
mainly because we want to know about romantic intentions, right?
Right.
So that's probably one of the reason. And then the other is what were we talking about? We were talking about I've forgotten.
You're
What
talking
was
about dating
I
and
about that?
the,
What was
the,
it?
the, the expenses, sharing of the expenses of a date.
No, you got on the expenses, Mr. Oh, talk to more than one person.
Oh, yes, that's very good. Talking about
Oh, but it
yeah.
is interesting to hear from a guy about, the expense part of it. Because I always feel a little bit uneasy about that because I do feel like, that it's not always right economically to make the men pay for everything. But I think it also too depends on like where you're at on your money. If you've got money and it's not a problem, whatever.
Right. I mean, look, whether it's a problem or not, it's a matter of principle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I invite someone out on a date, then I'm fully catering to the needs of that person on that date. But if somebody invites me out on a date, I expect them to do the same. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm just going to stick my hand in my pocket and say, when my wallet isn't coming out, right? But I expect that you are prepared to accommodate that date. Now the women have invited me on dates and then I say, no, I'll pay, it's okay. But that's my prerogative then. Mm-hmm. Right? If I didn't want to say I'll pay, then they were supposed to be prepared to pay.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Yeah, definitely makes sense. Well, I think this particular point, though, was based on there's no ring on the finger, right? And so you're out there in the dating game, and no one has said there's anything about being exclusive. So there's no reason for anyone to think on either party, women too, that he's not going to date other women and you're, and that you're off the list. I think the guy has to, I feel, make the move, and if he wants you exclusive.
Well, I mean, and in today's world, I mean, it's I wouldn't say it's okay for the woman to express the view, listen, and ask a question. Mm-hmm. Do you want this to be something exclusive, or what are we doing here? Where are we going? Mm-hmm. Especially if you all have gone to bed with each other or something, right? Then it should be in that woman's interest, if she feels that she wants exclusivity, to actually bring the topic up. There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. And then she would know, well, look, this is what it is. This guy wants a playmate, right? Or this guy really is interested in me in a serious way and he wants to have an exclusive relationship. Or he's a swinger type, and he doesn't mind having other women. Right? You have to define what your relationship is, mm-hmm. When that time comes, so that both people are clearly understand where they are. And that can either come from the man or it can come from the woman. There's no rule that says it's in the control of the man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But there's no, just because you're intimate doesn't necessarily mean that you're exclusive.
No, at all.
So that needs to be, and your relationship should be building up to be intimate. And so I think that if you go too fast,
well, that's what should happen, right?
Yes.
But very often that isn't what happens. Mm-hmm. A lot of women tell you, oh no, I would not go to bed with you on the first date, or for in time to bring that up and they speak like that, well, look, it's, they say that with their mouths and their heart and their head is saying something. They say with their head and their heart is saying something else. Mm-hmm. Because, I tell people all the time, look, women like sex just as much as men. right? It's no different. Okay, this myth that we have in our heads that women don't think about sex and so on is a total misnomer. You know, so women, so yeah, we should. You know, I say, look, you should really get to know someone. It should be a while. Take your time, get to know the person, decide what you really want, and then go to bed. But very often these days, you go to bed and then try to build a relationship after that. It's just the reality of modern life.
Yeah. Well, I just did a show, and that's what I talked about. It was building a friendship. Go in dating as instead of trying to seek a partner out, trying to get that match, perfect match. Just go in. It's trying to make friends, and so I think that's what dating is if you can gradually build up to that moment.
Build a friendship, and
I mean, try to get to that third date.
Yeah.
try your best.
Well, some people say the icing is on the outside of the cake, so you eat it first.
I know. But for me, speaking, I'm not off the market until it's clear that the guy he makes the move and says. And honestly, I don't know. I mean, I guess I have said in the past, where is this going? Even when you're exclusive, you want to make sure you're going down the right path, that you still feel good about the relationship. So I think I have brought it up a little bit, but generally, I mean, the guys want you off the market right away. I mean, if you've met on a dating site, they are into you, that's the first thing out of their mouth is they want to get you off that. Because they don't want you meeting somebody else.
But then, I mean, into you in what way, really? In a superficial way that you just met this person on a dating site and they said,
no, I mean, if you just met them, they're not going to do that. But if you've gone out a couple times, maybe even 3 times, whatever, they're starting to get interested in you, or if you have become intimate and they are into you, they're going to say right away. They're going to say to you, "Listen, how about taking a break from the dating and let's just see where this goes?" And I've had that happen before. And
were they willing to do the same thing, or were they asking
you
to do
something
that
it would have to be a mutual. It'd have to be a mutual thing.
If it's something mutual, I say that's fine.
Yeah.
If it is, I want you off the market, but I'm still on the market kind of way, then that I don't see how that could work.
Well, for me, if that happened, and he asked me to get off the market and he's still on the market, he's going to be on the market all the time because I'm not. We're done. Because to me, that's just being a little bit disloyal. You're not, but again, you got to be upfront about it. So if he says to you, ladies, you would be off the market, then your response needs to be, okay, is this a mutual agreement between you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's quite okay for the woman to ask, to find out, to seek her interest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then you're both on the same page.
You're both on the same page.
Yeah. So you got to be on the same page if you're going to get off the market.
Yeah, we are off the market.
Okay. So have upgrade and downgrade plans on dating. I think that was kind of a good idea. What do you think?
Have upgrade and downgrade plans.
You're going to go out and you haven't made a decision on exactly what to do. You have something fancier and something low key in mind.
Yeah, and very often I like spontaneity. So it's like let the evening flow.
Yeah, but how's she supposed to know what to wear?
Oh, just wear something.
Is she all dressed up in high heels and stuff, and then you take her to a farm or something?
But let me see how she handles a high heel in the farm. Let me see when mud gets in the shoes, what she'll do in that situation. So I mean, I think let the evening flow. A date doesn't always date on time, yes, and make sure it's clear it's a date. But a date could be spontaneous.
Yeah.
And that adds something to it. Just wear something kind of middle of the road. Jeans always work.
Yeah. I went to to tell you about a date I had one time. I went, and it was my ex-husband, but he took me to this, what was it called? It was like a hoedown type of thing. And I wore a little jean mini skirt. Was like a flippy jean. It looked nice. I had high heels on and a little top and stuff. And I looked really cute and stuff, but totally not dressed appropriate for this thing. I mean, this thing you should have wore tennis shoes or something like that, but it was on a farm. It was in the barn, and they took you on a hayride, and you went on the hayride and everything, and then they had dancing and stuff in the barn. I was so overdressed. I mean, I looked nice.
You went to a shindig.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a great time, but I just went with the flow of it. I had a really great time. But I wish I had known. I would have wore jeans. Climbing up that, I'm sure everybody saw my butt as I'm climbing up on that hayride. It's like, whatever.
Just pretend you're on the beach. They're going to see it when you're on the beach.
My butt was smaller then, so wasn't like now, but then it was a little bit smaller. But whatever. I thought, well, if they got a show, it's, whatever. We'll just go with it.
Let's go with the flow, And I say jeans is always safe if you're not sure what you're going to do.
I know. But, with talking about this and from the guy's perspective, because he's generally paying for a lot of stuff, I think ladies, I think they should kind of do something nice, maybe at the very beginning to kind of meet you. They don't have to go, to the Ritz or something, but it'd be something a little bit nicer. But I think us ladies, we need to, understand that not every outing is going to be like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I think if they feel that way, I think we should say something and say, we could do something quieter or something, a little bit less costly or whatever, because they're trying to impress you. And the only reason I say that is I went out with this guy one time, and every time I went out, he took me to a really fancy place. Really an expensive, fancy place all the time. And I started feeling a little bit insecure about that, thinking, oh my gosh, hope he doesn't think he has to do this all the time to impress me.
Right.
And so I started, that's what made me think about this. I thought, I hated to make them think that they have to always do that. So I think, ladies, we need to be kind about that a little bit.
And I think guys need to be real about it as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's look, if you can afford it and you don't care about the money being spent, fine. Mm-hmm. But if you're in a situation where you can't always afford that is something, a special occasion for you that you sacrifice and do, then you should be comfortable enough with your date to let her know, hey, this is my situation. So let's kind of take it down a notch for this one, whatever. However you want to express that, or just take control of it and you guide the date where you want the date to go, without saying anything. And
I think too, if he just plans something a little bit lower key, I think that's fine too.
Some of the best dates are dates where you don't even spend any money.
Mm-hmm.
Where you just with each other's company. It might be a park, might be a walk on the beach, or stuff like that. And those dates tend a lot of times turn out to be more memorable than the dates where you go and you sit down in some restaurant or some place and you spend a lot of money and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. Because, the whole thing is you want to really focus on building a relationship, getting to know that person.
Absolutely.
So you want to be in different environments and things like that. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then the next one was focus on you, not on love, which I thought was good because I think so often we want to get that relationship going. We want to feel that. And sometimes it takes a while, doesn't it?
It does. It does. A true relationship takes a while to build. It's and a relationship can withstand many obstacles and so on. But just trying to say you have a relationship and you haven't really even known each other well, haven't seen each other in different circumstances, haven't seen the sadness or the anger or the laughter in a true perspective. Because basically when you go on a date, you actually kind of putting on a show. You're trying to put on your best self. Because it's all about sales, selling yourself, right? When you really get to know someone, then you get to know the natural person. And then is when you can really decide whether this is a person you want to be with, yes or no.
Yep, I agree with that.
Let me just answer this briefly. Sorry about that. Hey, Shirley, you can't talk now.
Oh, yeah, it's a hot day already. He's already working on one.
Okay. Yeah, so, it's that that kind of situation is to me, getting to know someone that builds up to something. And it shouldn't be something that happens all of a sudden overnight.
Yeah, because love is something that builds. I think
it builds.
It builds as you continue on getting to know each other. And you're so right. At the very beginning, you're just putting all your best stuff forward, and they want to really know the authentic you.
Yeah, they want to know the authentic you.
Yeah. So I think a little bit of time, that takes a little bit of time and space.
Absolutely.
It said, make your day amazing before your evening out. I think that's kind of a good idea. If you had a bad day, it's going to kind of be reflected a little bit about how you're feeling,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay there. So, but yeah, so it's, you want to feel good about going out. So you want your day to be hopefully pretty good before you go out.
Yeah, you want to put yourself in the best mood possible, before you actually go out on your date. You want to be relaxed and you want to be in a really good place.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Yeah, I think too, because nothing worse than being in a bad mood or whatever. And we're already on the 11th one. Stop seeing breakups as a failure. I really love that one. Stop seeing breakups as a failure. Like if you're dating somebody and then you break up, sure, you're gonna feel some pain with that, but
separation is always a little painful, especially if you have been with a person for a while. But the earlier the breakup happens, is the better.
Yeah. Well, there's a difference between dating, just going out and dating, then you've went out with somebody and then you think, yeah, maybe that person isn't quite for me, so you don't go out with them again.
Right.
And some people feel like that is a failure, that they can't make that kind of relationship work. But the thing is, it wasn't a relationship. It was just a date.
It's a date. A date is not a relationship. A date is a meet and a greet. A shake hand.
And getting to know.
And getting to know. And to know if I want to continue with this, yes or no. And if you don't want to continue, it's okay to go your separate ways. You don't even have to be friends. It doesn't work. You go on, you move on. Next. It's like it's a numbers game. Until you find that person where you both find a connection with each other, levity, something that you can relate to in that person, and that's how you should view it.
And I'm not thinking that it's really a relationship at all until you both decide to be exclusive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When that time comes, then it becomes a relationship. You're quite right.
Yeah. So I mean, if you've gone out, you might have gone out 5 times, but there hasn't been a talk of being exclusive. So it's not a relationship, even though it looks like it's kind of going in that direction. Until you have that actual talk where you're going to be exclusive, it's not. It's just nothing but it's just nothing but dating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
I think people need to be really clear on that, because I think that's where people get really hurt, is because they've gone out a few times and they think, oh, this is the one, you know.
And at that point, that's a hope. You know?
Yeah, it is. It's what your expectation is of what you see your future, but the other party isn't seeing that. So
Everybody may not be seeing that. I mean, you know.
Yeah. So definitely. Yeah, definitely.
I would say, generally speaking, as far as dating is concerned, just relax and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Relax and have fun, and get to know the other party.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, the evening went by very quickly. Is there anything you'd like to say before we close the show?
Well, you know, I think that that contentment is something that one must find in a relationship. You know, once somebody asked me, if you have one piece of advice to give me, what would it be? And I said, to be contented but never satisfied. But I think in dating, one has to be contented and satisfied, or at least work towards satisfaction. You know, so I think that expectations should be realistic. If they're not realistic, they can breed contempt and unhappiness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I think that we should temper our expectations and so on, and just, as I said, relax and be happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think that's the way to go, and just take it one step at a time. Don't read more into it than what it is, and you might be wonderfully surprised.
Oh yeah.
When you just start enjoying it, right?
Live in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
A dating is like a cocoon. You know. Mm-hmm. And one of these days, you hope that beautiful relationship emerges from the cocoon of dating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's all.
You're so right.
Enjoy your dating.
It went very quickly. Well, I thank you, Derek, very much for being on the show.
Thank you, Cece, for having me.
Oh, it's our show. It's our show together. So anyhow, no problem. No problem. Glad I could help you.
Absolutely.
Well, it's great. We always have such fun. So I enjoy it very much. Very much.
Absolutely. I enjoy it.
Yeah, very good. I hope we're helping people out there dating. I hope we're, building relationships and a better understanding of the process of doing it, and also having some fun with it. Yeah.
So right.
Yeah, well, it's great. Well, I'm Cece Schatz.
And I am Derek Bernard.
And you're listening to The Boy and Girl Thing on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We'll be right back here next week. See you then.
See you next week. Enjoy your dating in the meantime.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.